It is what it is. You know what I mean? And so,
And it's also too like, okay, this is how I want you to, if at all possible, this is how I want you to leave your house. Because I need to set the expectation for how that house should look when that new potential buyer walks in the door. Because just I want to sell, they want to be done with, they don't, the showings are stressful for sellers as far as they've got to, leave the house, take their dogs, cats, whatever. So we want to have it present in the best possible light to truly excite that buyer, right?
yeah.
I don't want dishes on the counter. I don't want just I need certain things left
Tell
a
your
certain
kid, tell your
way.
kid to get his
This is
clothes from the back of
yeah.
the bathroom
Yes,
door.
I don't want bathrooms feeling like people just showered and left their dirty underwear on the floor. No. You know,
Eh,
we need to sell this house and I need
Need your
Mr.
help.
I need sellers to work with me.
Yeah.
And this is my expectation. You've hired me for my expertise. This is what the market is telling us they like houses to look like.
Yeah.
This is what sells houses. So it's about educating and communicating. It boils down to that. I mean, that's communication solves so many problems. It really it prevents problems. It solves them. It really prevents them, I should say.
It's a huge
Uh,
tool. It's a
Being
huge,
proactive versus reactive.
that's the
I
highlight.
love my clients. I love my buyers and sellers, but there's times on the weekend I just want to chill with my family. I don't want to be answering a question that I could have been proactive and addressed during the weekday.
Right.
And again, when you let people stew over something, they make it into a bigger issue than what, and they spiral out of control sometimes
Yeah.
because the nerves, the anxiety, the
Yep.
stress. So I need to prevent that from happening. I need to be in control and drive the bus.
And I
So,
don't think we've said anything nor highlighted anything that polished agents don't already know. But
mhm.
what I do think that they've gotten possibly from this is where and how you managed it, where you've come from, and why you believe that it like templates for you is a key point, in your process, templates is in your process. And if an agent, I don't think if they're not using templates, then I think you will, if you do use it, you're going to see the benefits, right? And I think we highlighted so many benefits that, you know what I mean? I think it's gonna give a lot of people, a to-do list for themselves if they haven't really kind of focused on, and if they find themselves having issues every transaction, then are you not, what are you doing to fix those, right? And your templates, and have you even thought of using templates? Are you an agent that literally just likes to hear himself talk and you know what I mean, like to ramble all those things and likes to be doing that follow up? But I mean, how much of your
When you
day
do that, you put yourself at risk of forgetting something.
messing up,
You
forgetting,
might be,
time involved?
you might be in let's just say your kid's choir concert and you had to step out and you're going through all of this and you're hurrying, and you forget something. And in the meantime, you're missing, your child perform or whatever is going on in your life, right? And what could have solved it? What could have prevented that call from even happening in that moment? And you lost control, right? You didn't do it when you had control. Time it goes back to time management, right? On my end, I am managing my time. I'm able to communicate all this, knock it out to focus on building other processes that help my business grow year after year. Um, that's my goal I'm all about slow, steady growth year after year. I mean, yeah, I would love to get to the point and do 50 transactions a year.
Oof.
However, I
Yeah.
also don't want it consuming my life. So I have to have more processes in place, and that allow me to do that, but yet still give the level of service that I give because I don't want to sacrifice that either. So for me, it's that balance, right? What can I do that, creates a repetitive process that helps the flow of my transactions?
No, I think you've given just a piece of exactly that, right? You've given with what and how you use templates. It's like I said, I don't think it's anything that anybody hasn't heard or that people haven't spoke on. But what I think it is a really good use case of an agent and how templates have been a truly important part of your day to day, and how it gives you so much, right? Like just as much as this is for the seller and buyer, but for you, it allows you to have a career in something that you enjoy. You've kind of found your cheat codes, you know what I mean? So you're able to like, make, how does it, what is it, have your cake and eat it too. That's totally what you're doing right now. I mean, you know what I mean? Like when I hear you, I hear you, definitely doing, I'm going to my son's soccer events, I'm doing this with my daughter. I know someone's going to college. Like I hear you busy, but at the same time, I hear you also on top of business, right? And now that we've had these years of
Yeah.
working together, I have definitely seen a change in your CRM before, to now. Now I can see where you have all these little different tools being worked and how you can use them. And so, you know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
yeah. I mean,
definitely,
I think anyone that is any real estate agent needs to have a CRM. I mean,
yeah,
just to manage your business. I mean, your past clients, especially if they had a good experience, are your biggest resource for new business. I mean, in my opinion. Um, they're the ones that are going to help market you, whether it's just leaving a Google review or having a conversation with their coworker or neighbor or family member. Like I said, I've got a couple families and I've done, cousins, aunts, uncles, yeah, I know quite a few of the
it's the,
family members. I love it.
yeah,
I love them because, that's the thing is I don't have, I can, they've got my trust from the moment I walk in. They've got, I should say, their confidence in me because of the other family members. So I get to start out a little deeper into that and really connect with them and not have to sit there and go through, I'll say, my marketing spiel so much because they know that. So now I get to really connect to take it to that next level with them.
they
Um,
probably see a whole different Renee, right? The one
like,
that's not
yeah,
coming
I,
to, put on the dog and pony show. It's just like, I'm here to help. We're gonna do this. This is my strategy. These are all the things that I do. So they must see a different light. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
because you're working with the family, I think
yeah.
I remember this conversation as one lady came to you and then I don't know if she was ready, but then it was to her mom and then it was to her cousin. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just
Oh, yeah.
music to my ears to see that with such a minimal database, right? With all your key contacts, you have been able to feed all of this deals or transactions to get you where you are right now. So
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I'm
and
just
just by
wondering what
having them,
next year is going to be like. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, just by having them in my database, so Christmas time, I can print out mailing labels, and it's
yeah,
all one spot. I have very few cards that come back anymore because it's just it's updated, right? It's my
yeah.
one single spot where I can print all that off so I can send it to them. And I have email. So I've kind of focused on the ones I use frequently and that, but I have every year in January, for those that bought or sold with me, I send them the HUD statement just in case they need it for tax purposes. I pull it from our dot loop app, right? It doesn't take me long, but I have a standard email and I kind of doctor it up for that year, right? Again, I'm not recreating the wheel. I'm not rethinking, okay, how did I word that last year? I have to go searching for it. I know where it is because I have it in a folder, specific folder in my email templates that I can pull from. And I just relabel it for the current year. So then I just take 5 minutes or so and maybe change some wording and that again, it's going out to a whole new group of people that bought and sold with me that previous year. I pull the HUD and just in case they need it for tax purpose, send it out. It's a great touch point. Maybe they have a set aside, maybe they don't need it. I don't know. But it's a touch point,
Mm,
right?
yep.
Again, it's being able to go back and be like, okay, I haven't talked to these people. What did I send? If it's a certain time of the year, what did I send last year? What did I? gives me a baseline, right? And then
Absolutely.
using it combined with Chat GBT, if, and just
If
that can
agents
help
are
a
if
great way to
agents aren't
change
using
up.
yeah, if agents are using AI in
Well,
any way,
and
shape, or form to help them in all the
yeah.
little things that it can, you should. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, even with creating this podcast, all my logos, all my little things that I'm creating and all that kind of stuff is through AI. I don't have access to, well, we do have access to a graphic designer, but it takes resources. You know what I mean? It takes, and for me to be able just to put in my commands and to get my ideas and I don't have to take it to nobody, that's it's worth its weight in gold, right?
Well,
So
and a lot for me, I'm more or less just dumping my words out, and then I let
brain dump,
ChatGPT help
yep,
me
put it together.
organize my thought process, and then I kind of take it from there. So that it's
Smart way to
still
use it.
me, right? It's still me and who I am. Um, but yeah, again, I like to nurture my clients and just take care of them, and that pays back for me.
Yeah,
I
no, that statement definitely, that they're definitely paying back to this whole and your approach to it, like I said, it saves you from cold calling, it saves you from having to go door to door. Your approach, everything that you've built, right? There's a lot of there's a lot more to you other than templates, right? This
yeah.
conversation possibly can go a lot longer, getting into other things that you've done to get to where you're at right now. But
I'll
that's
say too,
yeah, go
for the
ahead.
new agents, when I was a new agent, I would step back. If I had a transaction that was maybe a little rocky, that, okay, what could I have done differently? I think that's so important to step back and take your pride out of the situation and be like,
Yeah,
could I have done differently to allow that transaction to go smoother? Maybe it's documenting and putting something email template. Maybe it's just being more conscious of different personalities, right? And like, sometimes
absolutely.
people just need space. I remember one guy, I would send him an email or send him a response an inspection, and I would just send him a text saying, I sent it to you. I'm in a meeting. I'll call you in an hour. It wasn't really that I was in a meeting. I needed to give him space to digest it so that I could effectively communicate with him. So I would set a timer, and my goodness, I called him on that hour, and he was easy to talk to because he had time to get through that initial emotional. He needed that, right? I couldn't just send it to him, call him, bombard him with that. I had to give him space, but I had to do it. If I said I was going to call an hour, I called in an hour, right? So
Yeah,
it's just stepping back, and I think that's one of the best ways to grow as an agent is how could I have done this differently? How could I have prevented that from happening, or I could have made that situation a better experience? And reflecting on will help you grow. And again, email templates is it's one of my major tools or big tools that I use to capture that because it's documented, right?
yeah.
I'm not, I only have so much room in my brain to hold all that little detail,
Detail.
minute
Yeah,
stuff, right? Like I got other things to think about.
absolutely.
So I just need it documented so I don't have to think about it?
The way that I think it is Bruce Lee said it best, right? Be like water. And people who are in this type of position as a job, you can be, you know, snooty. You can have all your issues involved and you can have your ego in it, but you're gonna have a lot of issues. You know what I mean? But if you can be the one to be like water and let that person be the, irrational one, but you just be steady and calm and rational, um, it's just going to help your transaction. So that little tactic that you use, sometimes we got to, make a little white lie. Sometimes we need to give a little space in between.